All right, welcome back. It's going to be part 72 of my presentation on the flood in Noah's Ark. And guys, we're going to continue on with the Ice Age. If you'll notice on the screen here, I showed you this picture on my last video, this map here. And if you'll notice at the far left, the far top left of this picture, you'll see some dinosaurs. And there'll be little dots for colors. And I failed to tell you what those were for. When I got to editing the video, I was like, oh man, I inadvertently went over that information. But there are some people that I have met that said the Ice Age killed off the dinosaurs. And if you'll notice, those dinosaurs and the dots, you got a red one, a pink one, and a blue one. Well, those dots there are areas where those dinosaurs have been seen, have been reported in the past. And if you'll notice, it's the only one that's really close to any type of glacial activity is in South America. There's one that's real close to where the ice would have gotten up to. And there's no doubt that the Earth would have cooled as a whole. But those areas where they did not get any glacial activity, that's where those sightings are being seen. And so those animals could have easily survived the Ice Age. And right there at the equator, you're going to get warmer climates. And that's where most of the sightings have been, near the equator. At or near the equator, especially right there in Africa. You can see that very clearly. And so it's really wild when you get to doing a map and you start clustering views and sightings and all types of reports and stuff. It's really kind of interesting when you see the clusters, how there's a certain pattern to them. But at any rate, let's go ahead and let's get started with this. And we're going to start looking at the evidence of the Ice Age, evidence of an Ice Age. Now, certain features show that there are or seen showing at some time there were glaciated areas. Glacier developed in situ and slid with the lay of the land. Terminal or end moraines, also called tills, they can see that and see that there was a glacier in that area at that time. And I'm going to show you pictures of this here in just a minute. And then there's lateral moraines, also called tills. They're called tills. And so, but when we're talking about tills or moraines, this is what we're talking about. You'll see how if you'll notice the bottom with the bigger picture there, it's showing you how a glacier started developing in place. You go to the far right, you'll see where it says develops in place. And then you got the direction of the movement where it starts to move. It starts to grow, and you can, and there's been actual video. You can see where glaciers are actually moving. If you go to YouTube and you can put in like glaciers moving, and you can see it and hear it. And some people have put in like a time lapse and sped up the video. And I tell you what, guys, it's very revealing to see that moving. And so, but that right there, as it starts to move and it's pushing along, it actually starts to pick up boulders and rocks and starts pushing the earth. Sometimes it will push the earth so much where it will go all the way down to the rock that's underneath the soil. And so if you'll notice that picture over on the top left-hand corner, that gives you a little visual idea of what we're talking about. It will start pushing the ground along. And what happens is you'll have these areas when it starts to melt back. Well, those areas that have been pushed along will stay there. And you can see the evidence where the glacier movement was in that area at some point in time. That's how they can tell it. Now, this right here is a picture. It's a close-up of a terminal moraine, and they can be quite big, quite big. So now if you'll notice back on this picture here, you'll see the moraines. Just look for the word that says moraines, Moraines, and that's what we're talking about. That's what we're talking about. You got terminal moraines, which would be in the front, and then you got lateral moraines, which would be on the sides. And so this right here is a picture of a lateral moraine. A lateral moraine. Look how big it is. It's huge. Now you can tell at one point in time that there was a glacier that did that. And so now again, as it melts back, it's going to leave these behind. It's going to leave these behind. Now this picture here will give you another visual aid in what we're talking about. You got the terminal moraine, which is in front, and then you got the lateral moraine, which is on the side, and you got the what they call recessional moraine, and then ground moraine. But this right here is some of the clues that they see that there was evidence that a glacier was there at one point in time. Now going on, scratched bedrock where glaciers that had rocks on the bottom of them scratched the surface of the bedrock. Not all scratches are caused by rocks from glaciers. Some are caused by landslides. So again, you can think of this picture here and look where I put rocks at the bottom of the glacier scratching the bedrock. Just think about that. Think about rocks being, as this thing is growing and moving along, it picks up rocks and it just freezes them. They're frozen to that, and it's like sandpaper moving along. It's just scoring and scouring the rock that's been scraped away. And this right here is a picture of that. You can see that. I mean, some pretty deep scratches there. But that right there is scratched bedrock. Scratched bedrock. Let's stop right here. This is another real short video, but I'm looking at my my slides here, and the next area we're going to get into is a large area, and it's going to make this video way too long. But guys, let me remind you, for you guys that want to learn more about the Ice Age and stuff like that, you can go on YouTube. Go on YouTube. That'd be the place that I would go. And you want to look for in areas like the Ice Age, and look for these gentlemen that I've spoke about. Dr. Walt Brown, Michael Ord. That's O-A-R-D, Michael Ord, or Mike Ord. The guy is a meteorologist, guys. He's been studying this stuff for 35 years. And that's all he studies. He is an expert on the Ice Age, and he's a meteorologist, so he knows something about the weather and stuff like that. And he's a Christian, so you're going to get real science. You're not going to get evolutionary science. You're going to get real science here. Evolutionary science is not real science, because remember what science has to be. It has to be observable, and it has to be repeatable. Simple as that. And evolution is neither. It's as simple as that. It's neither. So if you want good, real, observable, repeatable science, good science, where God is included in, you want to go to these individuals that I point you to, and you'll get the real stuff, guys. Are there questions that we can't answer? Yes, there is. But not as you saw in the previous video, where you have theories about the Ice Age with creationists, and then you got theories of Ice Age with the secular evolutionist. Now, the secular evolutionist, at one point in time, I don't know what they have now, because it changes so much. It's like they make it up as they go along. But there was as many as 60 theories, guys. 60 theories. And they think there was as many as 30 Ice Ages in the past. But 60 theories. Now, remember what a theory is. A theory, when you define theory, it's no more than a guess. It's a hunch. That's what that word means. A guess and a hunch. And so now with the biblical worldview, they just said that there was one. one. That's just one. And when it comes to how it came about, there's only about 5 to 6 months to a year difference between one believes it happened at the end of the flood, and at the beginning of the flood, and one thinks it happened at the end of the flood. It's only about a 5 to 6 month to upwards of a year difference. And when they think that it actually happened, that is nothing compared to the evolutionary side of it. It's so confusing. And so, but both sides do agree that yes, there was an ice age. But you can go on YouTube and look for videos. There's some on there. I've got some videos, DVDs by Michael Ord, and but again, he is going to be the one that I would look at first. Okay, I would look at first. And there's some other good Christian people out there that talk about the ice age, but when it comes to really getting into it in detail and learning aspects about it and the weather patterns and all that type of stuff, Michael Ord's going to be your man. He's going to be your man. And so, but anyway, we come back, we're going to be looking at more areas, including what I'm looking at on my slides now. The next one we're going to get into is requirements for an ice age. And so, but you guys take care. I love you, and we'll talk to you real soon. Bye-bye.